Our other top story tonight, the state's emergency shelter system has been at capacity for months, and space for these families is getting harder to come by.
The wait list has grown by the hundreds since it was first created back in November, and it's showing no signs of slowing down. 22 News State House reporter Ellen Fleming breaks down this new report and what this crisis is costing our state.
The governor is mandated to provide bi-weekly reporting to the legislature on the shelter crisis, and the latest one shows that there is no relief in sight. There are currently 7,533 families enrolled in the Commonwealth's shelter system. That number will hover around that amount because the governor placed a cap on the amount of families the state could house at 7,500. That number was reached back in November. Since then, the costs associated with the shelter crisis and the wait list that ensued has only continued to grow. To put things into perspective, when the cap was reached in November, there were only 22 families on the wait list. By mid-December, that number was at 284 families. Mid-January saw 582 families, and as of yesterday, there were 755 families. The latest report also shows the amount of families that have entered as migrants, refugees, or asylum seekers. That number is at 3,717 families, which is about half of the total families that are in shelter. Now, there has been chatter on Beacon Hill about modifying the right to shelter law. However, housing attorney Andrea Park doesn't believe that's what's driving this.
This is a housing crisis. This has been a housing crisis, preceding COVID. COVID certainly made it worse, but it's not surprising to any of us who do housing advocacy that there are this many families who are unable to find affordable housing. So I think we need to address all of these things.
The report that came out this week also shows that the state has spent $360 million on this crisis. And to make that number worse, that figure is largely reflective of costs through December, not January and February. As for our part of the state, Western Massachusetts is housing around 800 families, with Springfield hosting the fourth most in the state at 283 families. Working for you at the State House in Boston, Ellen Fleming, 22 News.